Hi, everybody. It's Andrea and Benny.
Hi.
We're here. As we promised, we're about 2 minutes late. Sorry about that. Or 2 seconds late? No, 2 minutes. 2 minutes late, whatever. So, hi, everybody. We're going to let people jump on here real quick. And boy, did we get the questions.
Oh,
wow.
my.
So,
pages.
Yeah. So, we're glad to be doing this. It's been, I think, almost a year since we were in Spain together. And we did a really fun video the very end of the 2 weeks. And it was a lot of fun. But the problem was we did it live and then we didn't know how to save it. So we're even looking for it. We couldn't find it anywhere. So we thought, well, let's do another one. And so it's been a year. And so we're going to do another live one for you. And
now we know how to save it.
And now we know how to save it. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, that's right. So this one will be up for 24 hours. And then we'll have it saved. And then we'll figure out where we're going to post it to.
Yeah.
So if those of you are wanting it, we can get it. Yeah. So great. We have a lot of people joining on here. We're so excited.
Yes.
And a lot of people were asking Beni, they just want to know how you are doing, in the last year and what you've been doing, what you've been up to. And
So after I got home from Spain, the doctor wanted me to go in for one more CAT scan 6 months, I think maybe 4 months after I got home from Spain. And I did that and everything was all clear. And then I have sent my blood work back to Dr. Helu twice now. And the next time I send it back is in September, which is 6 months instead of 4 months, which Andrew said that was really good.
Yes, graduation.
So, yes, so everything has come back really clear. I'm still working on a little bit of detoxing metals. So I'm eating a lot of parsley. Apparently parsley does that. And still doing all of my treatments here that I can do at home on my infrared sauna and my foot bath and, just really keeping up with my exercise now that I have property. I'm doing a lot of work out in the yard and the garden and just really learning how to de-stress and relax because we all have stress in our life. But we need to learn how to do things that give us peace. And so I'm learning that. And it's been really, really good. And all the blood work has come back really good. So I'm really happy. The doctor's really happy. And Andrea is still coaching me like crazy.
And I'm really happy.
So I was eating sourdough bread a lot. And Andrea found out. She goes, okay, you can have sourdough once a week. So I am like religiously having sourdough once a week. It's like a treat. So there's still some things that I just can't. I really have to watch my sugar. I mean, I don't do any sugar. So the only thing I do is monk fruit and stevia. And so, but there's other things like food that we eat, stuff with, wheat and stuff like that will turn sugar in your system. So I have to really watch that and be careful with that. So I think I'm doing pretty good overall.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
amazing.
Great. I have so much energy. It's incredible.
It is.
It really is.
Because people are really asking you sometimes how are you really feeling?
I know.
Are you really doing?
Yeah, they come up and say, "How are you?" I'm like, "I'm doing great." Because when you're diagnosed with cancer, everybody's like, "Oh," and I have to be honest with you, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, if you really do the right stuff, it's very doable. You can heal your body. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm still on it, and I'll probably be on this protocol for the rest of my life, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm feeling great, and eating good, and we'll talk about stuff that we're eating and all that.
And really, that's as coming as someone also that has overcome cancer and has learned how to have a lifestyle that's, I mean, it is when you have that diagnosis, your life changes. It really does, but it doesn't change for the worse. I think it actually changes for the better, because you're actually now becoming healthy and your body's able to fight things off, and we're just creating an environment that's not conducive for this to live. And then it gives us quality of life. It gives us more energy naturally to be able to do the things that we're really called to do and what we want to do, to have fun. And because a lot of people say, gosh, you just live your life fearful or stressed because you have to figure out what you have to eat. Well, you know, at some point we all had to figure out things to eat and to do. So we just figure it out, and we live life, and we don't use it as something that's scary. We use it as something that's just part of, it's just part of life.
Yeah. And I was on the right track as far as, being healthy and stuff. But what I found out in this process is that it's all about the cellular level. And it was funny because the Lord spoke to me about a year before this all happened. And I felt like he said, I'm going to be working on the cellular level. And I was thinking, that's spiritual with the church and all that kind of stuff. And little did I know that it was going to be in my own body. And so that's what I've learned is he is really all about your cellular health. Yeah. And that's all the systems in your body that he wants on track. And that's what I found out that was off.
Yes.
And so once I got on track with Dr. Helu, then because that's his specialty. He is amazing. So I'm really thankful for him and Christine and also my hormone doctor,
Dr. Sonia.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She is. I know. We're going to hook you all up with all the information tonight about that. Yeah. And so let's just, since you brought that up, let's go into that for a moment with the blood, because so many people are asking. We have lots of questions, literally pages, okay?
Really good questions.
Very good questions. Yeah. Wonderful. And so those of you that are just starting to follow this journey with us or have been following, but now you're ready for some more information. So there's a lot of hormone questions, and I really like to defer those to our hormone specialist, Dr. Sonia O'Brien. And so I will be posting her information and how you are able to get a hold of her for that. Because we are not doctors, we don't treat, we don't diagnose, and so there's some things that we really like to leave for those that can do those things. But there's a lot of information that we can give you. But as far as like the blood test, what is the blood test? It's not your typical complete blood panel that you would get through your general practitioner, family doctor. This is done by the leading cellular biologist in the world, Dr. Raymond Helu. And that is one of the questions was, how did you find him? And so for me, I found it through my former chiropractor in Kansas City, actually, when I was diagnosed with cervical cancer back in 2012, where I was actually given a year at best to live from that. So, and I'm coming up on my 7-year birthday with that. So, and that's how I met Dr. Helu. And so basically it is a simple test that you get that gets sent to your house. We have it online on my website at AndreaThompson.org. But this is exactly what Beni did and what I did. And it's a simple prick of the finger. But he's able to magnify your blood 65,000 times. And so he's looking at you, not a chart that's being compared to the average sick individual, but what is going on in your body. The whole thing is creating an environment that's not conducive for cancer or any other disease to live. And all disease begins at a cellular level with abnormalities and imbalances. So what do? You correct the imbalances and the abnormalities. It's truly as simple as that. And regardless of where you are in your health, that you don't have to be sick either or have a cancer diagnosis. If you want to be preventative, which, hey, we want to do that all day long. He's able to see that. And the great thing about it is he's the only one that magnifies your blood 65,000 times. He will see everything in your body. It doesn't matter if whatever you're dealing with, call it whatever you want. He's not about the name of a disease. He can see everything and anything that is going on or has the potential down the road. And so he gives you results, complete results, treatment plans, recommendations, and they're easy to follow. We do a lot of consultations, we go through it, but it lets you know exactly, it stops all the guessing and actually gives you solid solutions and treatment plans to the answers that you have been looking for years and years, when you're like, something is going on, but all my other blood work's coming back normal, but you know that it's not. So
and that's a lot of the questions that I read today were about, how do I get started? It's so confusing out there. I don't, and what we end up doing is trying all these little things.
Yes.
That people said, oh, you got to get this and you got to get this, and seriously, the first place you need to start is just with the blood test, to get everything out in the open, to know exactly what's going on and go from there.
It is. I mean, honestly, we could sum up so much of these questions because a lot of you are like, I've tried everything. I've spent unbelievable amounts of money trying this diet, this supplement, and nothing, and it's not working. And that's because, how do you know what you need? You don't know what you need until you can actually see inside of you at that level. And so I always tell people, it's like comparing your normal type of blood test to a Dr. Helu test would be like, if you could look inside of a well, you can look down a well. You know that well goes very deep, but at some point it kind of goes black and you could only see so far, but it actually goes deeper than that. And so what's happening is we're trying to treat things at a very superficial level through detoxes, cleanses, specific diets, supplements, and we're not actually hitting down into the cellular level. And when we can get to that place, that's where Dr. Helu comes in, because he can see to the bottom of the well, into the nucleus of your cells, that's when we can begin the process of that type of healing, renewing, rebuilding, recovering, overcoming, structuring your entire environment. And so, really that's where it begins. So if you're really having difficulty finding things that work and you're just not getting anywhere, it's because you just they haven't been able to see deep enough. It's not, it's not about putting anybody, doctor, facility down. It's just that you can only see what you can see. And so should we answer some of these questions?
Yeah, we probably should.
All right. I'm thinking so. All right. So did either of you choose chemo and or radiation? What were our reasons if we didn't? How did we know Dr. Helu was the right choice for us in the path for health? And how did we hear about him, but we've already answered that?
Yeah.
No. I did not do chemo or radiation.
I did not either.
No.
And I knew that I wasn't supposed to. I knew that I was supposed to get the tumors. There were 2 removed. But other than that, I knew immediately I'm not doing chemo. I thought about it for a moment, and then there was no peace with it. So I thought, I'm not going to go that way. And that's when I really started hooking up with Andrea, and she pointed me in the right direction. And I tell you what, it's really good to have somebody that knows what they've already gone through it, they know what they're doing, and they can refer you to. And that's why we're here today, is to help you. We're gonna try to help you get some answers so you don't go away confused.
Exactly. And that was the same for me. I have a personal health coach. I think we all need one if we can.
Yeah.
And good resources and tools. And that's the one thing that for me, my background was already in medical with physical therapy. But for me, it was 2 things. One, it was I didn't have peace at all. but I knew enough that you can't build the body up and destroy it at the same time, and putting poisons in my body was just not an option for me personally. Right. But then again, it's like this was the path that the Lord had for me. And so I always say there is a path and a direction for you, and it's finding your peace, seeking God, and whatever that route is for you. There are definitely proven scientific research studies on the end of how the body works physiologically, but I knew that building the body up and destroying it at the same time was not right. And the Lord was showing me that. So that was wisdom from heaven, along with science coming alongside of that, and what do we do for that? So that's how we did that. Okay, next one. How do we get in contact with Hormone Specialist? I'll post that after this. And yes, she does consults, she does Skype, she does phone, FaceTiming all over the world. And then does Dr. Helu address hormone imbalances? He can see them, but then from there, depending on what he sees, I always like to then refer to Dr. Sonia and getting further testing done that way.
Yeah, and she's on Instagram too, and on my account, Grandmas with Muscles, I've posted some stuff about her as well. So she's just a great gal, lot of energy, and just so helpful. And I just had my second hormone test with her, and it was an intense one, and I'm here to tell you that I am just doing good. She goes, it's amazing how good you're doing. I'm still on one supplement. It's estrogen, but I only take it every other day now because I don't need that much anymore, so to dim it. So
that's awesome.
It's awesome. What happens is when you get the protocol from Dr. Helu and you start pushing, I don't know how long I've been on it, over a year, a year and a half maybe with him. And, every time you get a blood test, he changes the protocol for you. And the longer you stay on this, your body the systems all start balancing out. And then once that all balances out, your hormones balance out, and you're eating the right kind of foods. I mean, there's some foods I can eat, and there's some foods I can't. And for me, it's mostly crucifer vegetables. Broccoli has become my crave. So,
that's our thing.
Yeah, and it's one of the best. It's one of the best vegetables you can eat to fight cancer. So.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. All right. So, how have you been able to keep a social life when so much revolves around food, restaurants, and dinner tables with friends?
Oh, I just started traveling again. Doctor, and Andrea said it was okay for me to do a little bit of traveling. And so I just got back from South Carolina, and we had some friends that own a restaurant, beautiful Southern food, but prepared really well. But there were some things that I just could not eat. And then the desserts came, and they were outrageous. I did not have any.
You didn't?
Because I sat there thinking about Andrea, my head coach, and then I thought, I know if I take this and eat this, I'll get so sick, first of all, and I will defeat everything that I have been working so hard for. And so I let the desserts, 3 beautiful desserts, pass before me, and I smelled 2 of them. I just had to smell them.
That's right. So
it's all right to smell.
That's right. It's all right to smell.
Sometimes it's difficult, but you have to stay the course. And sometimes you just have to skip the food. Yeah. And there's been times where I eat before I go anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too. Or sometimes I'll bring my own.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just gotten to a point where we are our best advocate, and depending on where we are in life and what we have to do for ourselves, that I've kind of gotten to the point where I really don't care what people think, nor do I try, but I don't want to offend anybody also, but the majority of people kind of know, what I've gone through, what you've gone through, so they respect that and understand and know that it's not.
And I just tell them, I'm under really strict protocol with my doctor, and there's just some things that I cannot eat. And most of the time, people are really accommodating. But, you get into situations where you're eating in a conference setting and they have a green room and you have to eat whatever's there. So if there's not food that I can eat, then I just consider it a fast.
There you go.
until I can
Yeah.
get my food.
Yeah, and bring or
Bring it with me. Yeah.
Bring it with you. And as far as it's, just, are you going for the food, or are you going to actually be with the community and the company? What is, what's more meaningful to you? So for me, I love the company and stuff, and the food is become more of the secondary thing for me. But you just have to navigate through it, and sometimes it works well, and if other times it doesn't, you give yourself grace and you move forward.
And I have to be honest with you, sometimes it feels a little awkward.
It does.
Because
it does.
You're not able to eat this stuff, and you feel kind of like you don't feel left out. You just feel like this is just, my life.
It's my life. I know.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I had to get over why can't I be like everybody else and just do what everybody else is doing? So you get over that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay. We can be close. Do we recommend the live blood analysis instead of the Dutch test and Biotech food panel, or would you recommend all three? I recommend, number one, the live blood analysis. Now, all of these tests don't take away from one or the other, because within Dr. Helu's test, he can see if there's going to be food intolerances. If there's multiple food intolerances, then I will recommend doing a food sensitivity test, which we can get through Dr. Sonia. And there's a couple different ones. So if you can do them all, I think it's great. I always say, let's start with Dr. Helu's. It's going to give the overall huge picture. And then if there's further that we need just to get a little bit deeper in there, he can see specific foods that could be causing an inflammatory response in the body that you would need to go off of. And he'll know exactly which ones they are. Yeah. But it's not necessarily a complete food sensitivity test. So we go by an individual basis when we see the protocols, go through everything, and then we go from there. And then sometimes it might be a little bit down the road. Let's try specific things, see if that begins to help balance it out. Because really our goal is the body was designed to heal itself. The body, there are essential nutrients that it does need with the help of supplements. But overall, our bodies are designed to work without all of these things. So much of it. So as we get to a balanced homeostasis place in our bodies, we can begin to stop taking 40,000 things. Yeah. And there's so many things that we have and are taking that we don't necessarily need. And then the things we actually do need, we're not taking. So I always say start with Dr. Helu's. Let's see, sugar alternatives. You did talk about that. They're asking like coconut sugar, maple sugar, stevia, what is your...
Well, I can't do a maple or coconut sugar right now.
Right.
The only sugars I can do is alcohol sugars, because they don't affect my glucose levels. And Dr. Helu was, I don't know how many times I've got his results back, but every time it's like no in capital N-O sugar. So I'm like,
that's right.
Okay. And I'm a type O body, blood type. And I've discovered that sugar really, well, it is poison for everybody. But for type O's, it's just like really bad. And talk about, you can gain weight. I've gained weight being on sugar. But when I went off and I'm just doing sugar alcohol, it's interesting. I'm not in this thing to lose weight, but with everything balancing out, my weight is adjusting to what I need.
Exactly.
And what I should be. So
exactly.
So yeah, but for me, no sugar. And if you've heard me talk before about sugar, I was addicted to sugar, and I could eat a pound of chocolates in an afternoon, and but it was just like death to me, and I just felt horrible. And I understand the dilemma of being addicted to sugar. Mm-hmm. But now, to me, because of what I've gone through, it is not even something that I desire or want, because I never want to have to go through this. And I'm not saying it was just sugar that caused the cancer, but I know that it played a big part. So.
Yes. Yeah, it does. I mean, cancer disease is multifaceted, so it requires a multifaceted approach. It's not going to be one thing.
Right.
But we do know that sugar is the #1 feeder of disease because it creates an inflammatory response in the body, especially synthetic refined sugar, #1. So if we can remove those things. Now, if you're somebody that is not necessarily dealing with cancer or some other chronic type of illness, or then you do your better choices of, organic maple syrups, raw organic honey, things like that. But for others that are dealing with, diabetes, chronic illnesses, cancers, then you want to do the things that aren't going to feed it. The #1 feeder of cancer is sugar because that's the fuel. Glucose is the fuel for cancer, period. So we don't want to keep feeding it. We want to starve it and kill it. And so that's one of the ways to do that. All right, we'll move forward. Inflammation advice. Even when you think you're eating clean, how do you find the root cause? Again, it's going back to the Dr. Healu's blood cell analysis. So we can, eating clean is important, but even clean foods, if it's creating an inflammatory response in the body, you don't want it. How do you know if that's you or a specific food? You test for it. So if you feel that you're eating clean, but you're still having these responses in your body, then it would be really good to get the test done, see what's going on, take those things out, let the body heal. Doesn't mean you can't put them back in, but so it may not be a sensitivity or an intolerance, but it may be creating an inflammatory response because of other things that are going on at a cellular level. So that's how we find that out. So if you're continuing to do this and you're not finding answers, then let's get to the root causes. And the only way to do that is through this test to be able to magnify your cells at that level. That test can show what went on with you. If there was anything that when you were in the womb of your mom, okay, from the present to things that we can see 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the line. So it encompasses everything. Let's see.
Yeah, I think inflammation is the big culprit for a lot of people. So, you can Google inflammatory foods, anti-inflammatory foods that can help you. But like Andrea said, to really get down to the root of it, you're going to have to get that blood test.
Yeah. And I'll tell you something about that test. There are a few doctors in the United States that will do a live blood analysis. Here's the couple differences. The two big differences. One is cost. So the average here in the United States runs around $5,000 to $20,000 for this live blood analysis, and they can see about 11 pathogens. So again, the well is not very deep. Some of them you don't even get treatment plans, protocols, anything like that. Dr. Helu can actually see over 860 pathogens. So 11, 860. And then you get the results, treatment plan, protocols, recommendations, not just for food, not just the nutrition part, but lifestyle things. Are you sensitive to the EMFs? Any lifestyle? Are you the stress and how to deal with that? So there's lifestyle recommendations and treatments. And his test is $430, and you get all of that. You get the kit, all the instructions, everything. I feel like an infomercial, but I think people need to know, that it's so affordable because he's not in it. He's truly not in it for the money. He's in it because he wants people well. It's his heart. It's his passion to see people well.
One of my two things that were real triggers for me was stress and EMFs, which some people are really sensitive to EMFs, others aren't, but I think most people need to watch out for it. But I did not realize how important to prevent EMFs in my life as much as possible. So that's something that I've had to really work on. And so maybe we should address that question about the EMFs since we're talking about it right now, because people are like, how do you, because it's going to be there no matter what.
No matter what.
We got our phones on right now. And,
without our sleeves, because that's right.
Yeah, safe sleeve.
So that's right, safe sleeve.
You can get it for your iPads. I have one on my iPad as well. And and this little thing right here, inside here is the EMF protector. And so you just slip that on your phone, and then we have these little things that we plug into our walls. I have a lot of them. I'm sure you do too.
The green waves
all through the house, and it protects you from dirty electricity and all that kind of stuff. So
and then we have our necklaces, and this actually, to me, I feel like has been the biggest.
I know, right?
No, seriously, because Beni asked me, she's like, okay, do you really notice a difference? And I'm like, I'm telling you. And in fact, my last blood analysis that I've had done, my EMFs were actually getting better. And it was since I started wearing the necklace and getting the safe sleeve. And I mean, I've always had the EMF protection around the house, but as far as really getting into, but this necklace, it's on Gaia Wellness.
Yeah, GIA.
Wellness.com.
And then these are just on Amazon and Greenwave.
Yep.
But I went without this one day, not realizing it. I take it off and put it by my bed at night, and I forgot to put it on, which I never forget. And throughout the day, at the end of the day, I'm like, why do I feel so
like this? Just something.
I feel really off, and then I went, wait, I didn't put my necklace on today.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's been huge, and it just deflects the radiation, from all the EMFs. So it's just phenomenal. So you might want to check that out.
Yeah.
So those are the things you can at night, if you have to have your phone in your room. Put it on airplane mode. That will help. I mean, it's best obviously to have it complete. Sorry. But so those kind of things will help. Turning off your Wi-Fi at night and then just turning it back on so it's not running.
And you can also get a sleeve to put your Wi-Fi box in. I wish I could tell you what it is. I know, Abby, you know what it is if you're still listening. Maybe you can tell us. But you can slip your whatever you're doing, your Wi-Fi machine right into that too, and keep it in there all the time.
Yes.
And that helps prevent the EMFs too. So
it's wonderful. Okay, so I think those are good, and yes, I'll post about the necklaces, absolutely. And in fact, I think it is like throughout both of our Instagrams, if you want to go back through there too.
And this is on Gaia. I don't know if we said this one. Yeah, this is on Gaia.
Gaia Wellness.
The Safe Sleeve. Actually, you can follow Safe Sleeve on Instagram.
Yes.
And you can get that. And listen, moms and dads, don't let your kids lay by their phones at night without turning it off into airplane mode.
Yes.
And if they forget, go in and put it on airplane mode in the middle of the night. Because I know some, especially young teenagers and stuff, they like to listen to their music and watch their YouTube videos at night in bed. But just make sure that they get that turned off, so they're not sleeping with that electric magnetic field stuff going through their body.
Exactly. And starting next week, Monday's actually my birthday, and we're doing a week worth of giveaways. And Safe Sleeve is actually one that is donating a case for the winner. So be watching that next week.
Awesome.
So whichever one, like whatever color, whatever your size phone is, it's going to be just for you. So be looking for that.
I finally talked my husband into getting one. And people say, what is that? And he goes, I'm wearing that for my wife. And I'm like, thanks, babe.
Whatever it takes, right?
Because, guys, okay, let me get on a little soapbox here.
Do it.
Guys wear it in their pants all the time next to their bodies. And I see women especially sticking the EMF or the phones in their butt pocket. And listen, when I was in the gym, I used to put my phone right here while I was in the gym.
Me too. Right here.
And this is where the tumor showed up, right here. One of them, the big one. And I'm like, I just want to go up and shake them and say, don't do that.
It's like you want to pull it out, but you know. But it's true, and it's another piece to the puzzle of of this. And here's the other thing with that. It's another part, another piece of the puzzle, not the only thing by any means, but it does play a part in infertility.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so when you're having that in your pocket and close to those areas,
Yes.
so all of these, and these are things that we actually have control of that we can just change. They're simple,
Right.
easy things to do. It just requires us to do it, think about it, be a little conscious of it. All right. So, oh my. What is your makeup brand and routine? What is your anti-aging skin routine?
I use 100% pure. I use their cleanser. I use all their makeups. I stick pretty close to everything with that. I use their cleansing. It's an oil. It's kind of an oil-based thing. And then they have a retinol too that I use, and I do that at night with a vitamin E serum, I think it is. So I put the E serum on first, and then I put the retinol on, and that's what I do. But all their makeup I use, and I love it. So
yeah, and I have a combination. So I use 100% pure. I will use Ashley Nelson. She was my esthetician back when I lived in Kansas City. So she actually creates all of her organic line, and so I can post about that as well. And as far as makeup, I really like simple. Sometimes people go, you have a lot of makeup on. I really don't. It's simple, but it's very simple ingredients. My cleansing regimen, it's simple because I feel like the majority of it comes from the inside out. And so a lot of our anti-aging is, what are we putting in our bodies? What are we putting on? What are we washing things with? What is our stress level like? What is our peace like? And a lot of that is anti-aging and shows up in the skin, because if it's going on inside the body, it's going to show up. So, and then, I do like makeup too. I mean, I don't wear it all the time, and I don't wear makeup all the time. Like if I'm not doing this, or we're not, whatever, I'm like, I just put my tinted moisturizer that I have, and I go. So I don't wear a lot of makeup throughout the week at all. All right, let's see. What is your your top blood work? Okay, Dr. Helu, we've already talked about that. Here's a big one. Do we trust CBD oil? Best inflammation advice: keto versus fruits and veggies. Oh my.
Okay, let's cover the CBD first.
Okay, good.
I have people ask me this all the time, and it's such a controversial, it can be very controversial, but I actually use a strong CBD oil. Actually, it's a topical. I put it on because because I had plastic surgery and I had breast implants. I know some people are going to flip out, but Dr. Hughes said I'm fine with it. But my nerves are still healing, and I've heard that they take quite a long time. So there are days when I am really uncomfortable. So I actually put strong CBD on probably twice a day, and it's the only thing that I have found that works. I had an oil recipe for a while, but it just stopped working, and so now I use the CBD, and it's a balm. And it works great. And so I've always told people, I really believe that plant was created by God, and it's for a good use. Obviously, it's been abused, like so many things, but we can reclaim it. And it does have a little bit of THC in it. Not a lot, but it does have some. And that, I think, really, really works. And of course, it's not going to bother me because it's topical. So,
right.
So anyway,
it was. I mean, so it is a controversial. I've actually have talked in great lengths with Dr. Helu about it as well. Just like you can abuse, people abuse it. We also have to understand, and I'll say this: I can, my body didn't create cancer because I was deficient in CBD.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of times we get on this thing that CBD oil cures cancer.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not true. Now, does it help and aid? Can it be part of a protocol? does it help with pain relief? Does it have important, good healing properties? Yes. But again, it's not the one-all cure-all for things. We still have to get to the root cause of why things are happening in our body. But can it be an aid in things? Absolutely, just like you were saying. And so we just need to understand things like that. Same thing with essential oils. They come alongside to help and to aid. But cancer wasn't created in my body because I was deficient in essential oils either. So we need to get to the root causes, and sometimes we can get misguided and misled and get so focused on those things, because it's a whole lot easier to take some CBD oil and take an essential oil than have to take out that sugar or that wonderful, wonderful treat, right?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's like, let me just take this,
Yeah.
it'll be fine. So anyway.
Somebody asked about the brand. I can't remember the name of the brand, but the balm is called Dragon. And there's another one that's even stronger, and it's called Phoenix, but I use the Dragon blend. So that might be helpful. And I know I actually get mine from Oregon. I have a friend send it to me. I think you can get it in California, but I don't know, because California, you know, they legalized a bunch of stuff. So, but I don't know. So anyway.
Okay. Let's go to, okay.
And don't go telling everybody that Beni Johnson uses cannabis, because I don't. Oh my gosh.
Here we go, right?
I so hesitate in telling people.
So you all heard that, right? You
Yes.
got that. Okay. And we're saving this so we have the proof. I know.
Is that Louise?
That's Louise. Exactly. So the other thing is, what's our favorite vitamins?
Yeah.
So this is like a two-part thing in what to take, because so for me, my main go-to is Nature Sunshine. And I talk a lot about Nature Sunshine. It's Dr. Helu approved. Probably one of my most favorites are the ones in Spain, but we can't get them here yet. We are working on that. We are working on that. But here's the thing with supplements that I will say. Again, let's get you tested. Let's get your blood done so we know exactly what you need.
Yes.
And here's the other thing we can find out, because y'all know all about methylating, methylation. If you don't, some of you are like, no, I don't even know what's going on there. Okay, so here's the thing, and our bodies naturally are to methylate specific vitamins and things like that. Well, one of the big ones is that our bodies need to help break down better. It's like vitamin B12 and folate. And we see this a lot on Dr. Helu's results with his patients, my clients, that they're deficient in that. But not all bees are the same. And if you're not methylating, and how would you know? Well, we're going to get you tested so that you know. To know if we can use a regular bee on you, or if you need a methyl combo, if you need one that's already methylated. If you're taking a whole food vitamin, which I think is important, but if you're not methylating, we need to get you a vitamin that actually is going to work for you, because they're not all created equal. And a lot of vitamins are synthetic and have junk in them. And unfortunately, some of our wonderful brands that we used to use, that I'm not going to mention on here right now, we could do that in consultations, are actually have been sold to companies like Nestle, Bayer, the aspirin company, things like that. So I do a ton of research. I do all the research for you, okay? Although I want you to do your research, because I think that's good about being an advocate. But this is what I do all the time to keep up with what is good, and then to know what is right for your body. So as far as brands go, Max Living is great, and Nature Sunshine is great. Standard Process is great. There's a few out there. So but even with that, we want to make sure that you're actually taking what you need. And if you don't need it, because just as much as we can over-medicate, we can over-supplement. And this is where people are getting caught up with like, oh, this is the latest thing, or everybody's doing this, so I need to do that. But if it's not for you, then you're not going to get the results, and you're going to get discouraged. Yeah. And we don't want that.
I just found out through that last hormone test that my body doesn't mentolate.
Exactly.
So I'm not getting all the nutrients that I'm supposed to be getting. So I am on a B complex, and I'm on the mentolate.
The methylate
combo,
yes,
which is folate and is
the
it B12?
Yes.
So I'm taking that as well, and to get my body to start mentholating. And because it doesn't mentholate right, my glucose levels are off. So I have to test my glucose, and it's doing pretty good. I have a couple days where it's not great.
Yes, but it's been more consistent, better.
Yeah, it's a lot better than what it was.
Yes.
So, yeah, so like Andrea said, we're all different.
All different.
And we got to find out what works best for us, because what's going to be for me is probably not going to work for you.
Exactly. And that's really what I do, what our team does, what we're about, is really getting what is right for you, so that you don't have, because it's stressful, and when you create stress responses in the body, that's when we start getting things happening. So we kind of take all of that out for you and hone in between. I mean, we have amazing team. Dr. Helu, Dr. Sonia, myself, my team, we work to help you get what you need. So I like this one right here, number 43, chronic fatigue, because that's a big one, right?
Yeah.
And how to get more energy. Well, we could talk about that all day, right? Because it's nutrition, exercise, stress, how we're managing. But one of the things that I am learning, and one of the things through clients, and one of the things that I'm really teaching with my clients is, a lot of times we're searching for the thing that to give us more energy. A lot of times we're searching for substances, okay? So caffeine, those energy, things like that. When I have been teaching a lot on is, maybe you actually have a lot of energy, but it's where you're expending that energy. And how can we divert some of that energy that is being expended in a negative way? Because it's actually, you don't need to reach for more caffeine, more coffee, things like that, but you're wasting so much of that energy in places that are actually not working for you. So we help a lot with that. And I'm going to tell you something about caffeine and coffee. It is actually a false energy. It actually doesn't give you energy at all, okay? What happens is it dulls the nerve sensation, the impulse that actually goes to the brain that says that you are tired. So it dulls that, and then all of a sudden you're like, I feel better. But then a few hours later, you're back tired again, because guess what? It wore off. It's like the nerve block wore off, and now you need more. So it actually gives you no energy whatsoever. But so let's just say you love coffee because you like to drink it. But it's a cycle, because it's going to affect your adrenals, your cortisol. But if you're truly looking for energy, let's go down a path. I'm not saying you can't have coffee. I'm just saying it's not benefiting you in the energy whatsoever. Anyway, I know. It's like people love me and then they don't.
Don't touch my coffee.
I know, don't touch my coffee.
I'm just thankful I never liked it.
All right, so we have 10 minutes left before we run out. So we're going to do a couple more. If we didn't answer you, there's just so many, but we'll do another one. Hopefully sooner than a year.
Would it be helpful to do another one?
If you want some more, let us know if you'd like us to do another one, and we can do that.
What about decaf? People are asking about decaf.
So, so decaf is going to have a little bit of caffeine in it, but here's the thing. If you're going to drink coffee, all right, let's do an organic coffee. Because first of all, coffee beans are one of the most highly sprayed, contaminated beans on the planet.
And decaf.
And decaf is the worst. And the other thing is those beans are not dried fully, so they create mold, all right? So that now you're getting mold in you, pesticides, herbicides. So really look for an organic coffee if you're going to do it.
And tea also.
And tea, because yes.
And decaf tea is one of the worst processed you can get if it's not organic. And make sure if you get it in tea bags, even the bags can be full of chemicals.
Exactly.
So just go organic.
Yeah,
period.
and loose leaf. And put it in a stainless steel tea ball. Or just find bags that, first of all, aren't bleached and that are organic. And so that's what we'll say to that, because we aren't telling you. We're just sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What does a day for us look like in eating? Let's do this one, and then we're gonna talk about that that last question.
Okay. What is a day like? I usually get up about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I go to bed around 10ish. And if the sun comes up, I'm like a farmer, you know. When the sun goes down, I'm like gone. And when the sun comes up, I'm up. And we're right now living in a studio apartment, so I'm like, why the heck am I in this studio apartment? I'm going outside, so the weather's beautiful. So sometimes I'm outside in the mornings 2 hours before I even go in for breakfast. I'm like, oops, but I just get wrapped up. So I have, usually I have oatmeal with chia seeds, hemp seeds, and I make my own walnut milk and some monk fruit. And that's what I have for breakfast. And I probably eat about 4 times a day. I'm more of a grazer, and, I just kind of, And my treat is Lily's chocolate. It's made with stevia and ethanol. I'm not sure if that's how you say it, but that's one of my treats. And then I have salads, I have broccoli, I have steamed vegetables, and I have some type of a protein, chicken or wild fish. I can have meat once in a while. Andrea said, if you're going to have meat, which would be venison for me, have it the middle of the day, not in the evening.
Yes.
And then I can also now have liver. Excuse
to help
me.
methylate.
So I can have, and I have deer liver, because I have my husband hunts, so he brings home all that for me. So I have deer liver, which is really good and is really helpful. I can really tell my body is mentholating by my glucose levels when I eat liver. So yeah,
it's important. It's so important. Beni has just done incredible, and she reminds me so much of me when I was going through the throes of it also. And it's just you make the decision. For me, so a day in the life for me is I get up and I don't know what happened to me when we were in Spain, but we could eat bread when we were in Spain, which was amazing. I know. I can't wait when I go back in October. I'm going to eat more of that. Okay. I know. That's right. But for me, a workout schedule, and we both work out. Lots of working out and.
Oh, juicing.
Juicing, yes, yes.
I do about 2 16-ounce green juices a day with green apple only in it.
Yes. And juicing, for some of you that know my story, I had juiced 13 times a day for 2 years, every day, without fail. Went through lots of juicers. But anyway, I do have a couple recipes. You can look for them on my blogs. I do have them listed on there. Very simple juices, 2 specific ones that I went through. Lots of greens you want to do. If you're, staying low on the sugars, using the green apples, a quarter to a half of that. But I still juice. I do about 4 to 6 juices a day. A serving size is actually 8 ounces. And it's good to do 8 ounces at a time, because then your body processes that and, it's only going to use what it needs. And so you can spread that out. But however you do it, whatever works for your schedule, this is what's so great about creating a plan that's for you and your lifestyle. So a day for me is, I can do eggs. I do protein. I do moderate amounts of protein. I do tons of veggies, a good pound a day, and that's steamed, roasted, raw, juiced. I can do some sweet potatoes now, which is great, but I do those in the morning or before 3 p.m. That's a whole other.
I can't do those.
Not yet.
No. But even the other ones I can't do.
No, the Japanese.
Yeah.
I know, not yet.
Yeah.
But one day.
Yes.
One day.
Yes.
So, tell us what's in the. Oh, okay. That's Dr. Sonia. She tried the Andrea at Assis. Now so here's the thing. So she's not in. Mine's the Andrea at Assis is all greens. There's no fruit, and so it's wonderful. It's wonderful. But she said she'd rather lick the bark off my palm trees in the backyard.
Mine at least has an apple in it, a green apple.
The Beni J does have green apple, but I don't. Hey, we're all different. So I don't know. I just love it.
We have a juicery here, and she does blood type juices for people, which is fantastic.
Assis on Hilltop. And actually, this weekend, if you are a Reading local, we are going to kickstart off the week of giveaways with a day full of cleanse and an insulated bag from Assis. So be watching this weekend. I'm so excited. Okay, we have 3 minutes.
Oh, gosh.
So this is what I want to do.
Okay.
This was the last question, and I loved this. What does overall health mean to us as believers? Because I think this is so important. And you and I, even when we first met, we talked about just the tension between the natural and the supernatural and how they come together. Yeah. But I want to give 2 visuals of what this kind of looks like even in there. Here's Beni's amazing book. If you have not gotten it yet, The Power of Communion. Okay, powerful, 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 right? And then we have Andrea's new book coming out, How I Beat Cancer. It hasn't released yet, but it's getting ready to, okay? But so I'm going to let you go first with this.
So during my whole journey and before that, the Power of Communion was a very powerful part of the healing process for me. And truly taking this as believing that it was not just for my salvation, but it was for my divine health. It was for my wholeness and my healing. So we are trying to marry the two between the spiritual and the physical.
Yes.
And we didn't even get to the soul part of all this.
Right.
And that it's okay to be a good steward for your body.
Absolutely.
And then it's okay to depend on the Holy Spirit for your healing as well. And those two things should be married beautifully together, because after all, we are the body and the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Yes. And the fun thing is in here we have the spirit, soul, and body. They're all connected. And this was a big thing in my journey. I know in Beni's journey they all need to be lined up with the Father and Holy Spirit. And so it's exciting that we get to do this. So we basically have a minute. Well, no, we probably have we have 3 minutes left. But what I love about this is we're shifting. The Lord spoke to me and he said, I'm giving you a blueprint from heaven that is a deeper code at the cellular level for health. And so as much as research and studying and reading and all of that on the scientific and research, my face we are planted in the Word of God, because that is, and he showed me that, we have the World Health Organization, but he says, no, this is heaven's health organization. Yeah. And I just love that because he's leading the way, and we are here as ambassadors for him and for health to get you these answers. It's a journey, and everybody has their own journey, but I feel like we're truly now bringing solutions and answers to questions that you have all had for so many years. And it's now time that you're going to have these answers for lasting transformation, because God is raising up an army, and he wants his army healthy. Yeah. I know if I had an army, I want it healthy, spirit, soul, and body. So I'm so excited. I'm excited what's to come. So what do we do next?
One thing we forgot to mention is you need to be drinking water.
Yes.
And tea doesn't count. Coffee doesn't count.
No.
Even juices don't count.
No.
You have to get your water in.
It's actually the only thing, pure water, that actually filters through the kidneys.
Yeah.
So pure water you need to get. Half of your body weight in ounces is what's kind of across the board. Yeah. Now, there's, we play around with that a little bit. If you're exercising a whole
Yeah.
lot, the heat's different. But anyway, okay, so The Power of Communion. Get this book, How I Beat Cancer. You'll be able to, right now it's on tbn.org, all the month of August. And if you're wanting the blood kit, go to AndreaThompson.org. Check out the blood kit. You can email us at info@AndreaThompson.org. Consultations, anything, questions. And if you want us to do this again, let us know and we will.
Yeah. Love
All
you
right.
guys.
Love you. Bless you all. In Jesus' name, bless your
Amen.
body, spirit,
Amen.
souls. Yes, amen. Okay, here we go. And then, oh, okay, and then we're going to hit